What did you guys think? What did you guys
Wasn't
think?
that awesome? Well done
Yes.
to Mando for that intro. That is an awesome intro. Well done, lady. Well done.
Woot. Ark. Hurry up.
Sorry, that was my problem. That was my fault. I had to use the ladies' room.
Yeah, and my computer is having internet issues. She's only a minute late. Thank you, Dawn. I got you.
Dawn to the rescue.
Unacceptable. What is up with that? That shouldn't be. I got it.
Well done.
What's up, Road? It's the Tank Top Sisters. Yes, because it is 90 degrees where I live, and I don't want to turn down my air conditioner more than it already is.
It's 100 here. So, yeah, it's not fun.
Thank you. Yes, my intro. I spent like 4 to 4.5 hours on that, and I'm just like, I want an epic intro for Literary Soul Sisters, because yes. But yeah, heck yeah, it worked. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. What is up, Bob? Or yeah, I'm just gonna keep calling you Bob. It's fine.
Yeah. Morning, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, let me know how your dad's doing. Her dad had an accident and he's in a back brace. So
yeah.
I got your text message that he's supposed to be going home today. Let me know any other updates. So yes. So yeah, news. Let me add this on here. News.
Yeah. We have high-res photos of things.
Yay.
Things, yeah. I like how the man is holding the kid's child and all the women are pulling the carts, you know. Got to get those beta males in there.
I mean, the beta males are a thing.
They very much are. Just they are. Yep. There's good old Elrond.
That just her nose. I'm sorry. Her nose looks weird.
It does. I agree. I saw, even Fellowship of the Fans and stuff, they were like, mountains, person, tower. That's it!
Mountains, person, towers. Wonderful. The noise is one of the reasons I love FX systems. None of those loud compressor droning sounds that window units have. Yeah. Sorry, guys, if you're hearing my air conditioner. You're just gonna have to deal with the sound. Sorry. It's hot.
It's very
hot.
Good
morning. Name that I still can't pronounce, but I keep trying.
We'll get there one day.
Listening in. Thank you for listening in, Road.
Look at the Thad's comment. That's not Elrond. That's
not Elrond. That's old Ron.
Well done. Well said, sir. And then this is from 12 Years as a Slave.
I mean, that literally could have been like just taken out of 12 Years as a Slave and just plopped in there. It's so... I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's actually a great movie, in my opinion. But...
like, it's... I mean, this is so degrading. This is insulting. I mean, it's just insulting. There's Gil-galad with his Roman wreath and his really shitty wig, and his Romulan ears. I love his Romulan ears. They're so good. He's literally a Romulan.
Hi, lady. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like I am getting strong Caesar vibes that he is Caesar. And who, like, that's Gil-galad?
That's Gil-galad.
I feel like the first shot was better. They should have just stuck with the first shot and just left this one out. Like, this one is just...
This is bad. And, like, what are these shells on here? Oh, my... Are these pearls? Hold on. I can do this. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. How do I scroll in? No? Okay, never mind. Oh, there we go.
I feel it. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Whoa. Okay, it's not... okay.
Yeah, those look like pearls that you can buy from the boutique that I work at.
Yeah, they do. Here we go. Reset that. Okay. Anyways.
He's a Romulan.
He's Romulan. Their ears are Romulan. I'm sorry.
I feel like that armor, or let me do this. That armor looks I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
It's entirely possible. I mean, it looks
like it's reminiscent of some other high fantasy, which they shouldn't be taking. Nice words, taking things from other fantasies and pasting it in to Lord of the Rings. That's not.
And I'm sorry, just this looks like straight
Wheel
up
of Time?
Question mark? Yeah. This is just, I've never even watched Game of Thrones, and I'm like, that looks like it belongs in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, definitely looks like Game of Thrones. A2D2. I agree. Everything about this looks so bad. As far as like, and one of the articles, which I didn't post into the Discord because we're looking at the images now, is on like Geek Rant, the article said about these particular images that we're looking is, these are beautiful images of Middle Earth. That doesn't look like Middle Earth to me. That looks like you went outside in the backyard of your forest and took some pictures.
And rubbed some dirt on your face.
Right. Oh, that shouldn't be. I want to point this out. Tolkien never was ultra specific that elves had vividly pointed ears like Vulcans from Star Trek do. If anything, they're supposed to be subtly pointed. And then, yeah, that's true. It's just, I think the biggest thing for us is try to be consistent. The normal audience is used to the way that Peter Jackson, the Peter Jackson films did the ears.
Yeah.
This, yes, may be a prequel, but the elves live forever and the ears should not change from movie to movie.
No, they shouldn't. And,
yeah.
Yeah, and like I pointed out on Salty's stream the other night, Peter Jackson and his team, I remember them talking about this in the appendices, the ears that they had on everyone were so delicate that if it started to rain, they'd melt off. So think of all those elves at Helm's Deep, like what they had to do to keep their ears on. That's probably why half of them had helmets on, or the vast majority. I think it was only Haldir and Legolas who didn't have helmets on. So like their ears were so delicate, they were paper thin. These look like a whole prosthetic is sitting on the ear. They look like the Hobbit ears. They look huge. So it's just like it's to me it's a farce. It's like laughably bad.
Those people are clearly blind. Yes, A2. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I
feel like he looks like he's floating. He looks like he's floating. He doesn't look like he's walking. It's like this looks like a green screen.
It does.
And are we in Alice in Wonderland? Look, what are those dresses?
And I saw a lot of people talking about like A Midsummer's Night's Dream. I guess there was a movie that came out not too long ago, and it just was insanity.
He described them as leaf-shaped and more pointed than humans in The Lost Road. Okay,
nice.
I have not read that one.
So I just, what are they? They're literally wearing hay. That's hay on these girls' dresses. This is like
who
threshing
are those
material.
Girls? Are they like baby hobbits? Or Harfoots? Are they like children? Is that what this is? But that looks like that could have come from 19 or 1800s southern, like from the South. They look like little dresses little girls would have worn like during the slave era.
What Southern Bells. Period was
Southern Bells. Yes, they look like Southern Bells, which also goes with the 12 Years a Slave vibe that we're getting from him.
Yup, and his mutton chops that are literally. So there's Arondir. And there's Theo, his adoptive son.
Children of the Forest. That's right, Bob.
Yep.
Yes, they look like the flowers from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, that's also a good point. Yes, they do. His ears look a little bit better.
What I am getting at is that Oldrond, Grimly, oh my god, Grimmy Ladriel.
Yeah, there you go.
Caesar Gallad, thanks for the name, it fits. Their ears look like what we call cauliflower ears in amateur wrestling, which are caused by an injury.
When you keep getting hit. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that's exactly what they look like. Well, yes, they do. See this, like, you know, and Max made this point. I'm totally going to steal his words. Is that if I'm a young person of ethnic descent watching this, and they are trying to be like, we're having African American people be in roles that we've never had seen them in. First of all, BS. Second of all, I would be so insulted if I were getting. It was like I had to choose between 12 Years a Slave and this guy. I'm like, of course I'm going to look at that guy. Like 12, literally, those images look like they're out of 12 Years a Slave or any other, you know, film set in that era. Like at least Urandir looks somewhat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, so the time period that when we see the hobbits, of course they're in like little, you know, 3-piece suits. They look really nice and upkept. Like, yes, this is thousands of years beforehand. Granted, they're not even supposed to exist at this point in time. But I feel like the evolution of the clothing, like,
does it make sense?
Not really. Like, it's all over the place. It's like they're trying to get like the Southern Belle vibe along with 12 Years a Slave. Are we even allowed to say that word on YouTube? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to get monetized anytime soon anyway, so it's fine. So why are we going for the slave / Southern Belle look on as far as the hobbits go? Yeah. And we're going for this Roman medieval hodgepodge elf woodland creature Alice in Wonderland feel. I feel like we're in Alice in Wonderland's Tolkien.
I do. That's a good way of putting it. I do too. I think it's very accurate. I don't know. I like, yeah, the evolution of clothes, because if you think about it, the hobbits are like, I would say the Hobbit, like Hobbiton, what we understand hobbits to be is like early modern pre-French Civil War-esque era, like with the like, you know, they have their stays on the outside, not underneath their skirts. Their petticoats are quite short. So yeah, I would say that's early modern, like pushing up against the French Revolution era. I don't know how you get from basically rags to that. Again, I know that but you have to remember also they're condensing the timeline. So something that happens over what, a 1,200 year time span, maybe even 2,000 years, for us to get to point A to point B. So you're telling me we go to rags to early modern in the span of a couple hundred years? Are you joking?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, so the clothing appearance choice doesn't make sense. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because really? Yeah, how do you get from this to stays and button up vests?
Within a couple hundred. I mean, if you go from medieval to the Renaissance, but still, like, I don't know. That's still a long period of time. Like, not like just a couple hundred years. That was a long period of time, right? Yeah. My medieval to Renaissance history is a little
medieval to Renaissance. So I would say. See, I know a lot of people, and Thad, you'll probably dock me on this on my Tolkien card. I've always thought that like Middle Earth, the era that we're familiar with, is more like Anglo-Saxon era. Like I would say like 900 AD, like around that time period. I can't remember when Bede lived, but that's always where I've placed Middle Earth. So I don't know where I was going. I lost my train of thought. But like from Renaissance, I'm trying to think, Renaissance to early modern. Yeah, that's at least half a century. I don't know. I just
it's just the point we're basically trying to make is clothing like styles before the modern era don't change too much within a few hundred years. A2 says this looks nothing like Lord of the Rings. This is definitely their vision, not Tolkien's. Absolutely. That shouldn't be. My hypothesis about the Harfoot is getting more evidence. Amazoth keeps calling them Harfoot, not hobbits, and they have unhobbit-like traits. The term hobbit is copyright. Amazoth doesn't have the rights to.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Because the hobbits, I don't think, are mentioned in the appendices until the Third Age.
Huh. Well, then I didn't. That's awesome.
Dragon Gold, duh.
Yeah. Talk about dragon fever. So yeah, I don't know. So and then then there's this travesty of a picture. I'm so friggin' pissed off about this.
It doesn't.
It looks so bad. Everything about this is wrong.
And like, I understand the argument that was made that Gil-galad technically is High King of the Noldor, and Galadriel's not.
I was in a rant that night, and I'm sorry. Like, I did. I screwed that up, and I totally own it. I was just pissed off.
Right, and that makes that's understandable. But like, as far as power, like in terms of actual raw magical power, Galadriel is definitely like way up here. But as far as the rank within the Noldor elves themselves, yes,
he does. He absolutely outranks her. I just, again, why is he crowning her? I just want to know why is he crowning her? And you know what? Okay, again, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because her and Celeborn don't actually become High King and Queen of
Lorien.
They're Lord and Lady because they don't want to officially rule it. So like, what are we crowning her as?
Yeah.
In terms of when it occurs in the real world timeline, it's either somewhere around 5,000 BC or around 20,000 BC between the two glacial expansions that occur then. I have seen evidence for both. Okay.
That's interesting. Okay, good. Good to know.
Thank you for coming, Roman.
No worries, Roman. Okay, and I'm going to steal this from Max again, because again, me being, I never would have even remotely thought of this. He said that this armor is so bad, it makes no sense, because these shoulder pauldrons, he's like, okay, so elves are all really good archers. If they lift their shoulder to pull a bow, this weird lip is going to block their vision, and they literally won't be able to get their arm all the way up. They can't, he's like, the way, because that this lip thing will hit them in the face, so they can't even raise their arm the whole way. So he's like, I have no idea what on earth she's in armor. She's gonna be in armor this entire series. Mark my words.
Yep.
He's like, I have no idea what. And this armor is not elvish. I'm sorry. It's just not.
It's not. It's not. It looks like man's armor. It looks like what the people of like Gondor maybe.
Yeah.
I am stretching.
You know what this reminds me of? A Knight's Tale. That armor reminds me of A Knight's Tale.
Yes.
Like that era. Like, I don't know, that would have been Richard the Lionheart. I can't remember. All short hair. We've got one guy with long hair. Fudgesicle.
This can't be a wedding, because that's Gil-galad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shield Wall. I've got the pipe. I keep forgetting to bring it out. My apologies.
And then there's this guy. Then there's Celebrimbor. Just, ugh. I'm gonna bring up something real fast.
Have we gotten any confirmation that he's in love with Galadriel in this show?
Not yet, so far as I'm aware. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second.
Okay.
So yeah, like, keep talking.
If Amazon is still going with the canon that Celebrimbor is in love with Galadriel, which we've already established they are around the same age. He is either the grandson or the great grandson of Fëanor. So they are cousins still. Yes, Fëanor, like, I'm going to go on a slight rant because of a comment on one of my earlier videos that I mispronunciated Feanor, and I apologize. Celebrimbor did want to emulate Feanor, and so I guess like great grandfather, like great grandson, they both had a thing for Galadriel. But of course, as far as Feanor is concerned, we are not sure if he really did like Galadriel in that way, or if he just really liked her hair. It could be that he just really liked her hair.
Hair fetish.
But yeah, it is unconfirmed as far as I'm aware of that he actually had feelings for Galadriel. He just really liked her hair. But it's still creepy when your uncle likes you, and then your cousin 3 times removed or something also likes you. And I'm joking. I don't know if it's 3 times removed.
If you want to bring this up, okay, here's the thing. I'm not debate. Okay, so this is what Celebrimbor should. It's the feeling. This is more. Not this.
Yep.
This. Not this. I don't want to debate about the lore. I don't care about that right this second. Because I know that I know you're so well versed in the Thor. That's not the point. The point is, if they even draw on any of these relationships, if they draw on anything from the lore, this is a very clear statement. Galadriel, the woman who's playing Galadriel, looks like a teenager.
Yeah, she looks like she's 16.
He looks like a washed out politician who's ordered a couple hits. Like, I'm sorry, that's creepy. Like it's the messaging behind. If they pull on that, I'm not saying I know that they do. I have absolutely no idea. And for all I know, they won't, which is fine. But I don't care about the lore. I don't. It's the fact that they chose an incredibly older man and a very young woman. Okay, I'm sorry. I think it's creepy. So that's like literally all I care about. I don't care how old they were. I don't care what Tolkien said. This is a message that they're sending.
And the image that we just brought up was from Shadow of Mordor, the video game. That's the image that we're comparing this old man to. This is how, like, in the game Shadow of Mordor, this is how Celebrimbor is supposed to look. The images that we have from Amazon look like a washed up old 80s politician in medieval times. What's the movie? What was the movie we kept comparing him to? Princess Bride. He looks like he could be someone in Princess Bride. He
really could be.
Like,
he really could be.
Like, that's not, and he looks like a human. He's supposed to be an elf. Elves are angelic.
They do not regal
age.
About this.
Like, he has wrinkles. Elves do not have wrinkles because they do not age. They are immortal.
And I'm sorry, you're telling me that this is the guy who resisted the tortures of Sauron? Really? Okay.
Right. Because, like, an older, and nothing against you seasoned people out there, you are amazing and we love you, but you could not withstand torture at this age, as well as a younger person.
Yeah.
Just saying. Real Galadriel and real Elrond should look basically the same age, as both were well into their immortal phase. Same as Gil-galad. Yep.
Yeah.
The problems with the Shadow of Mordor was not that it was not the lore. It was not lore compliant in terms of visuals or aesthetics. Is that the storyline was incompatible with Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, right. I don't care. I'm not snapping. I don't care. It's the feeling that we all understand that that's what an elf looks like, and that Celebrimbor from the books is like a badass. I mean, he has his flaws, and he's a badass. This is not a badass. This is a washed-out politician.
He's a smith.
I don't believe
working
for
a smithy.
second that man has spent a time in a smith. That he is like bent over hot fire for days on end making rings. No, I don't buy that for a second. I don't care. I don't care. We have an idea of what Tolkien's elves should look like, and that is not it.
If Amazon, at the very least, could have gotten the look for the elves correct, I think that would have made our disdain for this TV series less.
Yes.
If they could at least have gotten the elves look correct. and consistent.
If you take this Caesar wreath off of Gil-galad's hair, he's the only one that I'm like, okay, I'll buy that. I can get on board. His armor doesn't. It looks way too clean, and I don't like his clothing. But at least he looks like an elf. Just take the Caesar wreath off his head.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like so many big corporations don't understand how much fans are actually willing to overlook. Like, yes, there are some nitpicky, gatekeeping troll fans out there that they need to get their panties out of their butt crack and like smell the roses for a second. But like the majority of us, like, if you can give us a good story and something that looks consistent with what we already understand to be canon and the lore, we will overlook quite a lot of things. Like, even if there were black elves, you know what? If they look like elves, they sound like elves, and they're part of, like, they do what elves should do in Tolkien's lore, a lot of people would even give them some leeway for that. They'd nitpick a little bit. Like, I would be one of those that'd be like, that looks bad. But if the story is good, and if it is true to canon, we will overlook a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. I don't even care about Arondir. I'm like, big deal. Like, I honestly, what I'm most pissed off about is legacy characters. Arondir is, like, on my list of things to be worried about. He's, like, number 100. Like, yes, he's a made-up character, and yes, he annoys me, but I don't, like, of all the things that I am annoyed about, like, I keep even forgetting he exists. I'm more concerned about what they're doing to legacy characters. That's my concern.
Right. With their own made-up characters, do whatever you want with them. They're your characters.
No, you are so good. I'm getting fired up, which is not healthy. No, dude, I understand exactly where you're coming from. I'm the same way. I'm an incredibly blunt and straightforward person. I get you. It's just like, it's a different of arguments of like laying one thing down and picking up the other. So no, I totally don't ever not put comments in the chat ever, right. Because we deeply appreciate them.
And what we're talking about that shouldn't be he's they said sorry, sometimes that comes out funny, or it comes out funny or sounds insulting or antagonistic. I agree with you. I just tend to type and speak like an engineer, and that's understandable. Like, a lot of times humor and sarcasm are not good when you're typing them.
No, they're not. They don't work well.
I have lost friends because I was being sarcastic, and I sent a text message and they were like, well, I don't like you ever again. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You know, like, I understand, but we're all friends here. We all understand that, hey, we're just talking about, we're fans. We're doing a fans too. We talk about things. Why are the Harfoot so dirty all the time? I think European lore complained about this as well.
Everyone's complaining about this.
They look like they just go outside and play in the dirt. Why are there leaves in their hair?
They look like they just trekked across the entirety of Middle Earth. Why is this so frayed?
That was the strangest combination of those phrases I've ever heard.
Wait, what phrases?
I don't. He probably was talking about something I said. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Question: what would be the destiny of Arondir? His elf immortal. He's not in third age. Will he die or travel somewhere to south or east? That's a good question, because he's not in the canon. I assume he probably dies.
Honestly,
he dies a heroic death.
Well, I'll say he probably either dies or goes to the Havens. He goes to Valinor.
Probably. A long time ago, one of my professors and mentor admonished me because I turned what should have been a 12-page report on a capacitor.
I did the same thing. My professors were always like, really?
Well, see, here's what, whenever I was doing my bachelor's, is because I had a lot of my professors were actually like doctorate professors, and I was like, maybe I might get a master's degree one of these days. And they're like, oh, so you want a master's degree? We will treat you like you are getting a master's degree. And so I had to write 30-page papers on different things all the time. I was like, why?
Yeah.
They're like, well, we're preparing you for when we eventually get your master's degree. And I'm like, but I'm still in my
bachelor. Okay, so she looks like she's got a beard. I don't even know. Like, this is just
that's a dirt beard. I've had one of those before when I was a child playing in the dirt. It looked like I had a beard.
And then there's him.
Oh goodness. Who's that?
Is on his shirt.
Oh, that's the washed up shipwreck of a dude.
Look how bad this looks. Look at that.
I feel like my friend who does cosplay and makes her own clothes can do a better job than that.
This shirt is terrible. This is fake suede. This is that's just sad.
They could have at least gone with linen, like actual linen. Yeah, that would have made sense. The elves eventually got weary of long life, and they will fade and die from basically weariness, running out of energy. Plus, death by earthquake or fighting or whatever.
There's also those pesky orcs.
Who is that? Hi, Tugs. Oh, I have the thing. Tugs. I will find a way to you.
Hellbrand. This is Hellbrand. He's made up. We don't know what the point of him is.
He is just a completely made up character because.
And he looks.
Why not?
Why not? So you know what? Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, so clearly this. I would say this is Linden, because of the trees in the background. This is Linden. There's Gil-galad. There's Celebrimborn. A lot of people are saying that this is Galadriel right here. There's Elrond.
Really?
Don't know. Yeah.
He looks like he belongs in The Chosen show, not Lord of the Rings. Agreed.
Agreed, my dear. Agreed. Hold on. I want to bring up something. If you can, I can get back to the. All right. According to Amazon's new best friends.
Oh yeah, I meant to bring that up. Yeah. I saw those. The that shouldn't be. Although regarding elven immortality, I read a cool series of fan fictions years ago where that one son of Feanor's is still running around Middle Earth appeared in the TV show Supernatural. Oh,
interesting.
I clicked on a different thing. No, go away, Twitter. Go away. I like the lamps, but they're CGI.
Yeah, agreed. They are. So I mean, remember, these people are besties with Amazon now. So I don't know, maybe maybe everyone asking where in the bloody hell was Celeborn and Celebrian. Again, I don't know how they're going to do that if we have to have a strong Quamin.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Galadriel looks like she is 16 years old.
She does.
She is supposed to be married with a full-grown child.
Yep. Fully grown. Fully grown.
Why is she out facing orc armies when she has a child and a husband? Like, where is her husband? Where is her child? Like, where are these people?
So then there's this. I mean, and we need to move on to the chapter. It's like the whole point of today. But the story they want to tell in season 1 is about the why. Why did they get fooled? Why did the rings get pitched? Why was there the deception and seduction so effective? So this tells me that they're starting like way in the middle of the Second Age, like well, and after the fall of Numenor, practically.
No, I would have to say they're going to start super early with Sauron in Numenor. I think that's where we're going to start out, is Sauron being the advisor to Tar, whatever his name is. That's the king, the evil king. And we're going to see Sauron seducing
all kinds of people.
And because some of the ring wraiths were Numenorians, so I imagine Sauron is seducing some of the high advisors to the king. And well, he made the rings before.
Yeah, he made the rings before he was imprisoned on Numenor. Yeah, he got around. Sorry, that DM'd me something. The map about Arda.
I had a map of the Second Age of Arda.
Oh, guys, real quickly.
Yes, I almost forgot. Yes, thank you, Tex, for coming in.
Today at 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern. Tugs, can you bring up her chat again? This amazing, beautiful lady is going to have a charity stream again for Gaming for Love. Guys, please go out, support her, share it on your social media. Remember, if all you can do is $1, that's $1 those kids didn't have. So please show up, support her. It will be on Twitch.
Can all and any of my mods drop a link to the charity and to Tug's Twitch channel, please?
Here we go. So please show up and support her today. If I can spell. Let's do some good for these little ones. Let's make sure that she has what she needs to do an incredible charity day. Okay. So I hope you all can just stop by and say hi to her. So anyways, you're most welcome, my dear. So I don't know.
Just looking at this stuff makes Elijah's face look like you ate a lemon.
That's accurate. That's not...
the time period in the Second Age canon that they are compressing is from roughly Second Age 1000 to Second Age 3400. In canon, the rings were forged around Second Age 1695. Numenor gets smote around. Okay.
That's incredibly helpful. Thank you.
I think that's how the series is going to end, with the fall of Numenor. Then I think I've said that before.
No, I thought I heard Gary say that it's ending with the Last Alliance.
Oh, okay.
It's ending with the start of the Third Age.
Which is not long after the fall of Numenor, though.
Yeah.
What's up, Phil?
So anyways, I mean, we could go on and on about this all day long.
Yeah, let's get to fun, happy friendship times. Friendship time.
So in any case, obviously, guys, just whatever. All right. So yes, happy friendship times.
I just now came up with that, guys. So just to let you know, I think about these things beforehand.
Goodness sakes.
Wrong thing. They said that it ends in the Last Alliance was 200 years after. Okay, so I mean, as far as elves and Numenorian time, that's not too far off.
It's not bad.
No point.
Yeah, I agree. We've already spent 38 minutes on it. So let's hop into the history of Rohan and Gondor. This is an interesting chapter. It was like, I don't know, it read quite differently than the other chapters we've done thus far.
I feel like it read more like accurate to just telling a story.
Yeah.
My water bottle is not opening. There we go. Sorry. But it also, Christopher does insert a lot of himself or a lot of his comments in it, which sometimes throws me as the reader off, because sometimes it doesn't differentiate his comments from the story itself. So yeah, that's the only, I would say, as far as like difficulty in reading, I think this was one of the easier chapters to just kind of read, because it's a fun story.
It was, yeah. Well, the first part, and okay, Thad, we're glad you're here. So this first bit, the Northmen and the Wainwriters, are the Wainwriters the Easterlings? I'm confused about this. I did not understand who the Wainwriters were. So
that was my understanding reading. It was probably the Easterlings or proto-Easterling.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we got no mention of Oliphants, which, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I was wondering, like, if we can confirm that these are the Easterlings, which, if so, then this is what the Warner Brothers cartoon will be about. Like, this will be the chapter it's based off of, as far as I understand.
Sorry, I'm looking at a message I got. But yeah, that that's whenever I've brought up maps of Middle Earth, that's where I've gotten the map of the Second Age, as well. I will send it to you later because my interwebs.
Oh, are you the one talking about the one that the Thad sent us?
Yeah.
I've got it. He sent it to me as well. Here, I'll pull it up. Cool. Okay, so Thad said the Wayne Riders were the Easterlings, but not all of them. Thank you. That is incredibly helpful.
Yay! So we were close.
We were close. I'm sorry, losing my train of thought. So okay, so I take it then the Northmen are like pre what we would consider the Rohirrim. So yes. I don't know. This first part was.
Yeah, so the pre-Rohirrim, they were called the Northmen or the oh my god, come on, please let me be able to pronunciate this right. Ethoio. You know what? It starts with an E.
Ethoi.
Why?
You know it's sad. Listen to the audiobooks and I can never remember how to say any of this. That's what's annoying. Why is Rohan not listed on here?
Well, because during the Second Age, it wasn't technically called Gondor or Rohan.
That's true.
It was above Rohan or above Gondor a little bit. That's why they were called the Northmen.
And you know what's interesting about this section 1 is it just shows like how, you know, they didn't just like have the Battle of the Last Alliance and then everything with Pichidori. Like there was a lot of stuff that went down the first couple, I don't know, 100-ish years that like after the Last Alliance, after Gil-galad and I'm blanking on his name, fell on the slopes of Mount Doom. So it's interesting, like you forget that like it's not just that the big bad was destroyed, it's like they had to mop up a lot of stuff and there was still like viable, horrible threats to all of Middle Earth at this time. Like it was not a one and done deal. No, it would be better if we knew Anglo-Saxon road.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be getting into, is the reason why the kings of Gondor, were friends with the descendants the pre-Rohirrim race, is because a lot of historians understood the Rohirrim as they were descended from the same, 3 houses of man that were that became friends of the elves, but these men chose to stay behind instead of going to Numenor.
Yeah, so and by historians, she means historians in Gondor, not like us historians. She means historians within Middle Earth.
Sorry,
no, you're confusing.
Yeah, just the Gondorian historians. Oh, that rhymes. Basically, when they tried to track the lineage of the Rohirrim to these people, they understood them as being of the same houses of men that became friends of elves, but they just did not intermarry and interbreed with elves. They were just the race of men. So the Rohirrim, one of the reasons I personally love the Rohirrim is they are the best of men without needing extra elf blood help. If that makes sense. They are just the best of men.
They are.
Yeah.
No, they definitely are. And they're men who like they live by an honorable code. You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, Gondor of everyone they knew they could call on, it was these men. So that's what I also really liked about this is that, you know, we have like, you know, we read the catastrophe that is, what is it, Hurons and Turons, that whole side of the family. But this is like, these men are just like straight up like honorable. No, we'll be there. Like, you don't need to worry about that. We're going to be there and help you fight.
And it does make a statement, I think, later on, that they are actually descendants of Hurons. Like, they're related to the line of Huron.
Yeah. Isn't it Hador?
So,
I feel like Hadar was mentioned in there somewhere. So yeah, this first one is literally like mopping up the just the awfulness that was, like Mordor falling and I can't word this morning. I do not have words this morning. I'm blanking on everything. After Sauron fell, like this first bit is them mopping up the mess that is Middle Earth, and basically and after the disaster of the Gladden Fields, okay, great, who's going to be prince and all this stuff, and the sundering of Gondor and all this stuff. So that was interesting because you forget that orcs are still out there and there are still threats to security essentially, and that they have to deal with that.
That could be a YouTube channel name. Gondorian historian hosting Good Morning Middle Earth.
That's funny.
Yes.
You should start that channel, girl. Well, I mean, when you have time.
I will add that to my repertoire of channels that I'm going to start one of these days.
There you go.
I like how when you say Middle Earth scholars or historians, doesn't sound silly. It sounds natural, and that is the proof of how Tolkien would feel real, like if he was still alive. Yeah. Absolutely. That's how we saw it. Is this was a living, breathing history and culture, and they had it was meant to feel alive and feel
lived
like
in.
how we lived in. From a military point of view, those three mountain ranges that surround Rovanian, sorry, define the military conflict from Second Age 15 through the end of the Third Age. Absolutely. Are you okay, Alicia? Is your eyes okay?
I've got stuff in my eyes. It's like, when you feel like you've got a nard in your eyes and it's like it feels like a rock. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a fuzz or something else, but it's
Hi,
really hurting. Hey, Kaylee. So I don't know how much do we want to go over there because I didn't absorb this quite as well. Other than
I think it's good to kind of go into when Gondor first encountered the Northmen, who would later become the Rohirrim. You're probably just highly agitated from looking at all those Amma's offerings of time.
That correct.
She's got a twitch in her eyes because of it.
Yep.
So the first king of Gondor, not the first king. Well, the first king of Gondor to be introduced to the Rohirrim. I'm just gonna call them the Rohirrim because that's who they are, and that's easier for me than calling them that E word that I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
And the Northmen, because people are gonna get confused about the movie The Northman. In my opinion, I think that might be confusing. So the Rohirrim were first known in the days of King These words.
What page are you on?
I'm still on the first, the second paragraph of that, where it says the Rohirrim were first known by that name in the days of
Kalametiar.
Yes, thank you, Kalametiar of Gondor, and he died in the year 1936 of the Third Age. So they were known to Gondor pretty late. I'd say later on into the Third Age of Middle Earth. And then later on, they go into how they were the race of men who were related to the race of men in the first age that passed west of Middle Earth and became the allies of the Eldar in the wars with Morgoth. So that's where they show us they are related to Hurin and Turin and all of the race, the three races. Yeah, that house of men. Tugs, my brain is confuzzled. I am.
Welcome to the party, dear. No, it is confusing. Thad, you're good. Don't ever apologize for geeking out. We enjoy geeking out.
Yes, absolutely. This time period is absolutely amazing to go into. This lays the groundwork for the three books and the War of the Ring, because the Rohirrim and the friendship between them and Gondor is pivotal in the War for the Ring. Like, without Rohan, Gondor would have fallen.
They absolutely would have. Rohan is like, you don't think you realize how, why are we still looking at this map? I don't think you realize how important Rohan is until you read this chapter, that like Gondor would have been wiped off the face of the planet if it hadn't been for Rohan.
Not just this time though, or not just the War of the Ring and the story that we're about to go over. Like Gondor would have been wiped out then too if it had not been for the Rohirrim. Like the Rohirrim, like were small and hardy people, but they were massive as far as impact.
They really were.
People of Rohan have always been my favorite. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, and well, and again, this is Tolkien's version of this is what should have happened. No. This is what should have happened when the Vikings showed up and the Anglo-Saxons should have thrown them out. This is what should have happened, and they didn't, because unfortunately the Anglo-Saxons didn't have horses. So this is Tolkien like reclaiming British history. I think the Rohirrim were very close to him in his heart. So yeah, and it's funny, this is where we get like the muster of the Rohirrim, the Eored, which so like that's where we like the muster that we see in Return of the King. This is a tradition that the Rohirrim would gather an Eored, which is like a gathering of like around 6,000 or 7,000 horses, horsemen, and ride to Gondor's aid. Like, this is a tradition, and this is where it's established, is not long after the fall of Sauron.
Did the dwarves make Helm's Deep? I don't believe so, because Helm Hammerhand was Rohan. Oh my god, he was a king of Rohan.
Yeah.
So no, I imagine it was the Rohirrim.
Yeah, I think it was all the men who made it. Yeah, no, we've looked at that before. It's a really good map.
So it's kind of.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, and it's like as we go on, as the Eored gathers to help this king of Gondor, Kalametar, it's funny, you get the same sense of what was happening at Helm's Deep, that the old men and the boys were left to guard the women and children. Like, Rohan keeps having this problem of not having enough men to guard their women and children, and it's always the little boys and the old men who end up doing it when like the Eored like soldiers out. So this is like a thing in Rohan that once the men are called to arms, but we also get later on that the young women. And that line from, was it Return of the King, or is it, I think it's Two Towers, when Eowyn says, the women of this country learned long ago, those without swords can still die upon them. I fear neither death nor pain. This is where this is established, that the young women did know that they had to fight if they wanted to not be wiped out. So, so this is, that's interesting. It's not, this isn't a woke edition. Like, this is Rohan. Women of Rohan are not afraid of picking up a sword and defending their own if needs be.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll drop it, Bob.
Yeah, because so kind of a little bit of trying to do the best summary possible of this story is so after Sauron was defeated, there was a really bad plague that affected men, like all of the men of Middle Earth. I don't remember if it affected the elves. I don't think it did. I think it was just the men. That basically wiped out half of Gondor and like over a third, if not more, of Rohan. Like it wiped them out, and then it also affected the Easterlings and those other the Wain Riders as well. And so Gondor and Rohan knew that these evil races of men were going to try and attack them later on, because there had been rumblings, but they also knew that the plague was affecting them as it was affecting Gondor and Rohan, so they had a chance to kind of recoup. And so basically a lot of this history that we're going to kind of like do a summary of is the Easterlings and the Wainriders constantly are attacking Gondor and Rohan constantly, and at one point in time they enslave the Rohirrim.
They do, yeah. Yeah, Rohan's been through some stuff.
Yes. And so that's kind of where we begin the story of, it's after Sauron's defeat, Gondor is trying to strengthen itself, and realizing that the enemies of humans and the Valar are still around, and they need to defend themselves and fight them off. And they realize they can't do it alone because Gondor is in decline. After the fall of Sauron, Gondor starts going into decline, and the plague just kind of like hastened the decline of Gondor.
Well, and what's sad is that he specifically says that it hit Gondor pretty heavily, but he said that like the Rohirrim were people of outdoors. They were outside so much, but the plague hit in the winter when they were all cloistered inside, and obviously you bring all your animals inside during the winter because they'll die too. It affected their horses as well. Their horses literally died of it too, which is super sad. So yeah, like Rohan really went through a bad spell during this year.
So, and that's kind of how we're introduced to the Rohirrim and Gondor, is both of them are struggling right now, and Gondor, the kings of Gondor realize we need help, and there's this race of men that are kinsmen of ours. We should help each other, and that's kind of like where the beginnings of the friendship happen. That shouldn't be. Elves are sort of immune to conventional disease unless it's sort of the magical affliction. Tolkien sort of qualifies this in later writings by saying that elves cannot die from disease. Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. Thank you.
I couldn't remember. I felt like that there was a hint that this could have been from a magical source. So that's why I couldn't remember if it was if it affected the elves as well, because it seemed whenever I was reading that, it kind of, the winter seemed off, and that's kind of how this disease was able to take root and be so devastating, is because the winter was off. But I could be reading into things. And then after the plague kind of goes through, after a while, the Wainriders and Easterlings began to start invading Gondor, and the North, or the Rohirrim. There's actually a name for the elf community that escapes me at the moment. No worries. Trying to think. Also, for those of you who have watched The Hobbit, the Men of Dale are also from that line of men as well. I always wondered where the Men of Dale came from when I looked at The Hobbit and stuff. I was like, where did these guys come from? Who are you? And yeah, they're also of the same. They're kind of related to the Rohirrim, but not. It's like the three main houses of men. Hodor. Huron's line is Rohirrim, and then the Men of Dale is, I think, Beor's line.
Yeah,
I believe
so. Yeah.
What is up, Cajun?
I'm trying not to yawn.
Yeah, Shield Wall. The Hobbit movies did stink, but it
there are parts of it that were good. There were aspects of it, not. But I do agree with Salty. I have a feeling that once the Rings of Power comes out, we're going to look much more favorably on The Hobbit.
And then the Wainriders kind of took over Rohan for a while and made them their slaves.
Yep.
For a bit. And the king... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just did not absorb this part very well. I'm just like... I know I read this. I just don't remember it.
No worries. So more or less, the Rohirrim were just kind of lying in wait for the Easterlings and the Wain Riders to go to war with Gondor, which is what they were planning on doing anyway. But they tried to take the Rohirrim out of the game beforehand. I don't recall ever specifying that the Great Plague was caused by Sauron, but it did come from a territory he controlled. Gondorians think he did cause it. Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's where I was getting confused. Is there was something I had read that people believe that Sauron did cause the plague or at least the storm that made the plague worse. Mm-hmm. So he might not have like super directly caused it, but very like he was involved somehow.
Can you vent for a second? I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll just keep on going on with the story. So the Rohirrim were captive by the Wain Riders and the Easterlings, and Gondor knew about this, and Gondor knew that they needed their help in order to defeat the Wain Riders. And so Gondor, because the king, his forces were weaker, so he started using spies in the different regions of where the Wain Riders and the Easterlings were strength or were trying to attack, and just kind of where they were getting their strength from, because before that I don't think it kind of made it seem like they didn't use spies that often. So I think this was the first king, the Kalamintar, who started trying to use spies instead of guard posts, like those big towers, like Minas Ithil, Minas Tirith, like these different towers that we see. Instead of using those, he started using a spy network. And that's how we found out that the Rohirrim were under, were kind of captured and under slavery of the Wain Riders. So he developed this plan to go ahead and attack the Wain Riders and the Easterlings. That way, it gave the Rohirrim a chance to break free and then aid Gondor in their fight with the Easterlings.
Weren't half
that
of them
sound right?
Yes, and weren't half of them like hiding out in Fangorn Forest, and they were able to charge in when the uprising happened and throw them off?
Yeah, some of them went in the forest, some of them went and hid with the Men of Dale. That's why we made mention of the Men of Dale, is because some of the Rohirrim went and hid with them. Mm-hmm. And some of them, of course, were just lying in wait for their chance to revolt. I don't feel bad for not remembering it all. This chapter is very information dense. This is like the 20th or so time I've read it, and I still pick up new details. Yes. Thank you, Kaylee. Yes, smash that like button. I don't know why my throat is just so dry today.
This is also when the two princes of Minas Tirith, they both die in this battle. They have to fight with the Wain Riders. Both of them die, and is this not where the kind of succession issue comes into play in Gondor?
Yes, this is it was, I think, maybe I think it comes a little bit after this. I think. Sorry, I get the kings confused.
Go do your yard work, sir.
No, okay, so the bye, Cajun. Thank you. They did win this battle. It was the next battle that happened where I think it was King Tel Umhitar on 301. I think it was his king or
his sons. Yeah, it was Faramir and what's the other sons?
Artemir and Faramir. Yeah, it was his too.
Because Artemir was supposed to stay put. I think he was Faramir was the second son. And it was a law in Gondor that one of the princes had to stay put, and Faramir snuck out and was killed. So this is where Gondor's succession issue comes into play. About who's going to lead Gondor.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, after the after this particular battle, There was kind of a friendship between Gondor and Rohan, but it wasn't as strong as what we see later on. So, of course, a few kings later, he, yeah, King on whatever his name is, his two sons. Sorry, I'm reading 301, and I'm trying to remember all of these kings' names and their succession.
Well, we talk about.
Basically, there was a king in Gondor who his two sons died, and then after that there was some succession issues, but the reason his two sons died was because the Wainriders and the Easterlings were attacking yet again. There's kind of a theme here, is Rohan and Gondor kind of push back the Easterlings and Wainriders, and then they're like, let's try again. And so then eventually we just keep kind of going on to different kings, and then the stewards come into play, because there was a issue with the succession of the kings. And then so yeah, we go to the stewards of Gondor, which Gondor had a couple of really awesome stewards who were basically like good kings. Like they could have, like, yeah. Did intermarry at all, the Gondor? Yes, that is part of the succession issues, because one of the kings of Gondor married a lady from Rohan. And Arnor, because when you're the king of Gondor, you're also the king of Arnor, or you're supposed to be. But Gondor and Arnor had an issue when one of the kings of Gondor married, I think, somebody from Rohan. And Arnor is like, we're not going to recognize this heir because it's not a pure-blooded Gondorian.
And Éomer married that prince's daughter, whose name is, I can't remember. He's in Return of the King. So Éomer married a princess of Gondor after Aragorn was crowned.
Yes.
So it's here on 305. That's when they talk about the succession issue.
Yes.
That the claim was rejected in the following year at the Battle of the Camp. Aranil became the king. His son was Aranur, who died at Minas Morgul after accepting the challenge of the Lord of the Nazgul, and was the last king of the Southern Realm. So, yeah, let him die. It's amazing that Aragorn was of direct descent.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Really is. Because a lot of times men are just so freaking prideful. Like, the heck? Like,
y'all can be a little stupid sometimes.
Yeah, because like Faramir was supposed to stay behind. He didn't, and so that caused issues there. And then later on, it caused more issues because people were being stupid. See, Aragorn's line were the kings of Arnor and High King of Gondor and Arnor. Gondorians knew that the Dunedain of the north were hiding the line of King Sauron and was hunting them. Yes, because historically alliances are cemented by marriage. Yeah, it wasn't required. But yes, one of the kings of Gondor did marry a Rohirrim lady. I don't know if she was a princess or not, but it's a Rohirrim lady. Yeah. Which caused issues because people don't like it when you don't marry the pure line.
So the next part is the Ride of Errol. And this part I really enjoyed.
This is where we get into the actual friendship of Gondor and Rohan.
So like Rohan left and went to another part of Middle Earth because the land that they had been living on
got destroyed.
It got destroyed, and so they left and they found somewhere else so they could raise their horses, but they were I got the sense they were deeply discontented there because there wasn't enough land. So they were, I don't know, they were quite the distance, like a 2 weeks ride, it sounded like, from what I understood of like the moving of time and space and all this, a good 2 weeks ride, like even further north that I understood. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but the Rohirrim left and they weren't near Gondor for quite a while. But then obviously we have now the issue of the Easterlings back again, and Gondor needs help because Gondor is in decline. Like you can definitely see that Tolkien is starting to interweave that here is where like Gondor and like what we had considered to be Numenor and everything is definitely starting to seriously decline at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sauron was basically attacking the survivors of Numenor for over 3,000 years. Eventually, one of the daughters of a Gondorian king marries back into Aragorn's line. Yeah, I don't remember when. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when that is too, because that's a lot of details. I get that. Harry and Meg can prove that point. Yes.
Yeah, think. So, so yeah, this part like starts out.
In the year of 2489 of the third era. So this is they've been friends off and on for going on almost 1,000 years. And this is when the stewards were reigning over Gondor, and they realized that the Easterlings were attacking again, but this time they had help from people from the south who I can't remember their name. Yeah, there were people. This is one of the times that Tolkien talks about people from the south. We could have done that during this, Rings of Crime, but why would we? Because that's canon. But yeah, so.
They mentioned just real quickly from the Hobbit movies, when Gandalf and Elrond are arguing about the quest for Erebor and why it's important, and that Gandalf's worried. Elrond says that we have had a long watchful peace. That's a proper noun. That's actually something that like was termed in the chronology of Middle Earth. The watchful peace was actually a thing. Like that wasn't just a throwaway line. It's a proper noun. It's capitalized. So this was a period of time where the wise were watching to see what was happening in Middle Earth and just like basically keeping an eye on everything, which I thought that was like super interesting, because it seems like a very throwaway line to give Elrond in the Hobbit movies, but no, the watchful peace was a specific period in time.
Yeah, Bob, the East is becoming more and more interesting. Like, we're getting a lot more of the Easterlings and the Wainriders and the other men of Middle Earth that were not friendly to the West.
Yeah.
That word I can't pronounce. Were driven northward by attacks from the Easterlings. It's around when the Wainriders conquered most of Rovanian and enslaved the Northmen there. Yeah. That's around the time period of all of this. It was they kept it was their previous area where they were enslaved, they got free from, and they kept moving north. If one nation strong as Gondor, Rohan, having trouble with the forces of the East, how strong are they? Yes, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Like, how strong are the Easterlings for them to literally be putting Rohan and Gondor like to shame at some point in time?
Yeah.
You see more of them. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know where those damn elephants came from. I'm like, yeah, please give me. I would like to know. I want to know the things.
What? Like that was
How do you tame that?
But also the thing is, like, going on a slight rant tirade here, like, that was what a lot of people were expecting them to do during the Second Age, because that's when we get most of, or Second Age to Third Age, like, that's when we get more understanding of the Easterlings, where they come from, who are they, where are they, like, when are they, like, because
you wanted to diversify Tolkien, that would have been the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. Because they were constantly at war with Gondor and Rohan. Like, we had, if you just read the Lord of the Rings, it's mostly about Sauron and the orcs. You don't hear a lot about the Easterlings until some of the other battles later on in, like, the Return of the King. You don't hear about them, but they were a major part in all of the history of Middle Earth. Good afternoon. Thank you. Christine the Killer Car. Let's see. Call up map and pull it to this territory. Oh yeah. Sauron controlled a massive part of the East. Because also, if it wasn't for the Easterlings, because if you guys remember from the Silmarillion, the Easterlings are descendants of the First Age men who betrayed the war against Morgoth. Like that race of men are the Easterlings, who would later become servants of Morgoth, but were betrayed because. Go ahead.
But if you remember the sea guy, the marriage counseling guy, Tar Aliandir, or whatever the hell his name is. He literally chased the Easterlings out of their own homes because he kept cutting down their trees. So yeah, it seems to me like these people have a viable issue with Gondor. They have every right to be annoyed with them because they literally chased them out of their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to complicate Gondor's history, that is the way to go about it.
Let's see. Anglo-Portuguese alliance, the oldest real world alliance still in effect. It was signed in 1386. The Gondor topic got me interested. Oh, yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
Rings of Power won't touch the Easterlings because they are from the East and not the good guys. Too racist for Amazon.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you want a sympathetic villain, you got one. You got a perfectly viable sympathetic villain because their homes were taken. Of course they're gonna hate Gondor.
Well, and think of that famous line from Faramir in Return of Two Towers. It's like, was he really evil at heart, or was he just doing his master's bidding? Like, was he just sent far from home and he didn't want to go? Like, that's an interesting thing. That is, like, it's the most beautiful anti-war statement, if you want one, that, like, was put in those movies. That, like, is he really actually evil at heart, or did his masters just send him there? Did he want to die this far from home? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Anywho.
So the Easterlings and the Wainriders have a wonderful, cool history that could have been delved into because they are constantly at war with Rohan and Gondor, and that's kind of the summary of this is Easterlings, Wainriders constantly attacking Gondor and Rohan. Rohan and Gondor fight back, and there are these miracles that happen. We'll go into that particular miracle in a bit, but at one point in time, one of the Sirion, who became the Steward of Gondor in the year 2489, who is probably, in my opinion, one of the best stewards of Gondor's history, he realized that the Easterlings were about to bring a force that outnumbered the Gondorian forces 10-1. He was like, we need help. I don't think I have time. The Rohirrim have time to get here, but I'm going to send 10 messengers, 2 pairs, a day apart, to try and reach Rohan to let them know we're in trouble. That's where the idea of the beacons came from, because they literally, it would have taken weeks for messengers to get there, and plus there was Minas Tirith, Minas Ithil, right?
Yeah,
Minas Morgul. Minas Ithil or Minas Morgul or Dogoldur.
Okay, what's the point you're getting to, and then I can help you.
Basically, the Witch King was kind of keeping watch, and it was kind of in between Rohan and Gondor. Like, if they had to pass through this area.
That was Minas Morgul.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Basically, that was there. It was Dogoldur. I see it. I have it highlighted. It's
Dogoldur.
Noted.
Yes.
So Dogoldur was in between Rohan and Gondor, which is really bad because the Witch King was there guarding things. So of course, all of the riders that the Steward of Gondor tried to get to the Rohirrim, all but one were dead.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Ugh. I have such a new profound respect for Twitch streamers now. Gosh, this is so hard, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Don't expect me to start streaming before July. That's just not gonna happen. I did no idea this was gonna be so hard. So it's coming. I promise. My capture card is right here. I just can't get it to work.
Can't believe I'm gonna hate Gondor now. No, Bob, you won't hate Gondor. You just have more of an understanding that they are fallible men as well.
They're flawed just like any other people.
I absolutely agree, but Amazon won't see it that way because they don't understand the story. Yes,
they don't have the brain capacity for that.
Yeah, the Easterlings had crap luck. When men first awoke, they awoke in the east. Morgoth got them. Yup.
Yep.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Hi, Roto.
Shieldwell, yeah. I'll if Shieldwell, if you want to know my agony, I'll DM you like in Discord or something. Shutting a Twitch is not fun. If you're doing a console, it's not fun. It's not fun.
But yeah, so that's kind of basically Messenger did get to Rohan, and the king was like, "Okay, we need to get there, but we need to leave yesterday.
Yeah,
let me gather all of my men."
This is Errol. So Errol, like, who is he's the first king of Gondor. Jeez, Rohan is like, he's like, no, it's time to go. It's go time. He didn't even hesitate. Again, like the honor that Tolkien shows that these men have to fight against the forces of darkness, and that's what complicates Theoden's stance a little. And we'll get there. I don't want to jump ahead too much, but Theoden's hesitation makes a little bit more sense now when we get to the last part of this and the oaths that were sworn. Like now I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Minas Ithil was Isildur's fortress that the Witch King conquered and became Minas Morgul. Dol Guldur was the elven settlement for the Sylvan elves. Dolken. Oh! Okay. Cool. Thank you. For some reason, I always get them confused. Yeah, in my brain. So yeah, he's like, okay, let's go now. And they're like, we're probably going to get there too late, but we got to leave now. And there's a mysterious mist that somehow transportates them.
Yeah, so they call it the Aered, like the mustering of the Rohirrim, which is around, again, 6,000 horsemen and archers on horseback. And as they're approaching the Anduin, this white mist starts gathering. And we find out it's Galadriel. Galadriel, like, oh, I just love this part. It's so cool. Like, talk about being like coming to the rescue. And she's like, no, you will get to Gondor and you will get there in time. Like now I'm like, oh, okay. I bet you this is how. I mean, again, I know that there are issues with how it was handled in the movie, but in Return of the King, when Elrond, I was like, how did Elrond get from Rivendell to Snowden, right? Was that what it was called? I can't remember what it's called. So. That was a 3-month track. I'm like, he got there in 2 days. How's that even possible? I'm like, Galadriel helped him. This makes sense now. That's what happened.
Yes, because they even make a point, like, I guess the lady of, whatever helped us.
The white lady.
And it's like, the white lady? Is that Galadriel? Oh, man. But yeah. So yeah, Galadriel got them there, and like it would have taken them weeks, and they got there in like
couple
hours, yeah. And they got there just in the nick of time. Gondor was not expecting them to come, and they just came riding out and decimated the Easterlings and the Wain Riders. It was, and then the steward of Gondor was like, I've got a gift for you. Give me like 3 days, or was it 3 months? I forget. Give me some time. Yeah. Okay, give me 3 months. I will have your gift for you waiting. And so what he does is he goes up to where the site would be in the future for Rohan, but at that particular site was the gravestone of Isildur's father, who, if you guys remember, he didn't die. He went to Valinor and got help for the men. And so it didn't make sense to a couple of people. It's like, well, why would he have a gravestone? And it's like, well, it's ceremonial, but also like it was so ceremonial that you couldn't even speak loud there. It was like it was holy ground. You had to speak in a whisper. And so he got the site ready, and then he invited the king of Rohan back. And he's like, this land I give to you as long as you swear an oath that whenever Gondor is in need, you will come. And so they swear an oath. They're like, good friends. Yes, we will always come and help you. this is the oath. It is bound Valar as our witness. I will always the Rohirrim will always help Gondor in their time of need.
Yeah. Well, and what it's important to remember about Elendil's tomb is that Isildur made this thing. No one knew about this. No one could know about this area, this secret hallowed place. That when a king and his son, the prince, the heir of Gondor, when your son was of age, you would take your son to this hallowed place and say, like, this is important for all these reasons. So this was a secret. No one really knew about this. So the fact that the stewards obviously knew because the line had, failed. And the stewards knew about this place. So the fact that he took the Rohirrim up there is like, that should tell you how highly esteemed he held them.
Mm-hmm. That whole Arwen summoning the river spirit to sweep away the ring wraiths was awesome. That's how you show a strong female character. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Galadriel is so amazing. Yes, A2. She is amazing.
She is.
The elves never gave up on the Edain and their descendants. It's just that after the end of the First Age, there was a steady departure of elves to Valinor, mass depopulation. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so the oaths are taken, and then we kind of jump. We jump. Sorry. Take the oaths. And yeah, and then it kind of goes back to like the site that we just had this oath-taking ceremony at. It goes back into the history of that site with Isildur and stuff. And that's kind of where the chapter more or less ends. Is kind of discussing that particular area, why Isildur created that area, what its purpose is. And it, like I feel like hi Lady Marine.
Hey sweetie.
Good. I feel like actually reading the history, like more of the histories of Middle Earth, gives me more of an appreciation for Isildur, because like when you just get him in the Lord of the Ring and the Hobbit, like whenever he's discussed, or the Lord of the Rings and stuff, there's kind of this distaste for him, when in actuality Isildur was a great human man. He had one flaw, and that was he took the ring. That was it. So it just kind of goes to show, like, you can be a great person, but one mistake can just destroy that whole legacy. So I just thinking about Isildur's legacy there.
Yeah. Well, okay, and to jump back a little bit, I wanted to go over, if we can, like, during the oath taking, when the steward Kirion, or whatever his name, is telling Errol that I'm giving you this land from Anduin to Eisen, that he shall be the king. And so, okay, so this is like basically the stipulation that no bond shall be laid upon them other than their own laws and wills, save this only. They shall live in perpetual friendship with Gondor, and by its enemies, Gondor, and by its enemies shall be their enemies, while both realms endure. But the same bond shall also be laid upon the people of Gondor. So when Denethor is like, where is Theoden? This is what he's referring to. And when Theoden is like, where is Gondor when the Westfold fell? This is what they're referring to. Like, Theoden isn't just being like, I expect my neighbors to help me. No, this goes back to a very solemn oath of when Rohan was given that land. And Gondor was like, literally the only thing we want you to do is just be there when enemies come knocking. You know? Mm-hmm. And we'll do the same. When enemies are at your doorstep, we will be there for you. So this is like where that whole like Denethor and Theoden thing comes from. And when Theoden steps up and is like, you know, when Aragorn comes running in and after the beacons have been lit and Aragorn's like, you know, Gondor calls for aid. That's why that's such a pivotal moment is when Theoden says, and Rohan shall answer, and he says, muster the Rohirrim. This is what this goes back to.
Oh, it gives me tingles. Like my hair is just like standing on the back of my arm, like just thinking about that scene.
That whole scene is just, and then when like, okay, so I've got some new clips on my channel, and I specifically got when Éomer says, Riders of Rohan, you know, oaths you have taken. Now fulfill them all. And like they ride out of Edoras. I was like, oh, I love that scene so much. So this
is what they're talking about.
This is what they're talking about is this oath of when Eorl was given the land of Rohan. And so that's why this is so pivotably important to Return of the King. So that's and it's, you know, I've loved Tolkien my whole life. I've loved the movies. I've read The Lord of the Rings, but again, as an you know, diving into the histories for the first time, it's like Thranduil. I'm like, oh, he's not just pissy in the movies. That's actually how he is. Like, oh, Rohan and Gondor. Like, no, this is part of their sacred oath to each other. That they will be there when you know crap hits the fan. So I loved that we finally understand that, and that Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens they put that in there for the fans who understand how important that part is.
Yes. So you've been asked, have you started reading The Dwarves by Marcus Heitz yet? Very Tolkien.
I have. Yeah, I
have not. I do not know
good.
what that is.
It's good. It is. It's quite Tolkien-esque. I kind of stopped on like chapter 10 or something. But yeah, no, it's good. I would definitely recommend it. I hope I can get through all 5 books. So I actually have a post about it on my Bookstagram. I can pull that up and drop a link to it. So yeah, I have started it. I liked it a lot. So hopefully I finish it and not get too distracted by other books.
Yeah, Shield Wall victory was near, but the power of the ring could not be undone. That, yeah. Yeah, they had to briefly cover his story. So all the people who haven't read the books are like, wow, what a chump. When he calls for his armor. Yes. Oh, man. Yes. Chills.
Yeah.
I think people get confused when they read the books if they have seen the Peter Jackson's movies first because of how much Peter Jackson changes Elrond to be over men can lead to a bad impression of Isildur.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, and also, and this is something else that I feel like is really, really important to highlight. So as time goes on and Rohan is established in now their place of, you know, land, on 3:16 it says, in later days, however, the Rohirrim grew. Okay, so we have the oath at this sacred place. The stewards remove that tomb of Elendil and put it in the tombs of Minas Tirith because they're like, well, we kind of like it. This is a moot point now. There's no kings. Kind of, you know, the Rohirrim, and so this was like their meeting point between the two kingdoms. This was supposed to be like the boundary line where the sacred place was. But on 3:16 it says, in later days, however, the Rohirrim grew in number or power in numbers, while Gondor declined and was even threatened from the east and by the sea. And the wardens of Arnwar were provided entirely by the people of Eastfold, and the wood became a custom part of the royal domain of the kings of the Mark. And the hill they named, but like literally, you know, Gondor and Rohan were supposed to protect this hallowed hill. It was basically Rohan who was doing everything. Like Gondor was just too weak. Rohan was like pulling much more of the weight of defending this area than was Gondor because Gondor just didn't have the strength. So that again should tell you that like Rohan was really important to the security of Gondor.
Yes. Rohan is the best of Middle Earth men.
They are.
Yay!
They are. Can't disagree.
Do we want to read the oath that was taken? Cause yeah.
Sure, we can. If you want to read,
there was something else.
No, if you want to read Eorl's, I can read. I can read the shorter one. What do you want to do?
Do you want to do it in Quenya?
I do not. No, thank you.
Because the actual oath that the Steward of Gondor does is in
Quenya. It was
which is really cool.
It was beautiful on my audiobook. I was like, I like this narrator. He said that perfectly.
Okay, so yeah, I will. I'll read the one for Rohan.
Okay.
Okay. So this is when they are about to take their oaths, and this particular oath, like, it gives, when you understand the meaning and the backstory behind this oath, you then, like, that point in the movies where, you know, the Rohan is like, when we will answer, you know, riders, remember your oaths, to, you know, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
this is what that's part of.
Yes. Hear now, all peoples who bow not to the shadow in the east. By the gift of the Lord of the Munberg, we will come to dwell on the land that he names whatever. Yeah. And therefore I vow in my own name and on behalf of all of the Rohirrim of the north that between us and the great people of the west there shall be a friendship forever. Their enemies shall be our enemies, their need shall be our need, and whatsoever evil or threat or assault may come upon them, we will aid them to the utmost end of our strength. This vow shall descend to my heirs, all such as may come after me in our new land, and let them keep it in faith unbroken, lest the shadow fall upon them and they become accursed.
Yeah. And so this is how the Steward of Gondor replied. This oath shall stand in memory of the land, the glory of the land of the star, and of the faith of Elendil the faithful, in the keeping of those who sit upon the thrones of the west, and of the one who is above all thrones forever. And it says, such an oath had not been heard in Middle Earth since Elendil himself had sworn alliance to the alliance with Gil-galad, king of the Eldar, which I thought was really cool. And they're invoking Iluvatar. And
yes,
and like that was not the norm for them to invoke Iluvatar's name like that. So yes. This was like how seriously this oath was taken.
Yes. And it's not the soldiers, it's the two it's the King of Rohan and the Steward of Gondor who are taking these oaths. But the oath applies to all of the peoples.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that they probably had to learn this oath when they were growing up.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, like, it just, like, for them to evoke Iluvatar means that it was a sacred bond, a sacred vow, could not be unbroken. Or shouldn't have been unbroken. Yeah. But yeah, man, like, that's just so cool. Like, it gives that whole, like, the ride of the Rohirrim in the movies, that's not the first time they've done that. It's where like they came in at the last moment when Gondor needed them most.
Yeah, like, they've done that multiple times.
Yes. That's just the history between Rohan and Gondor. Gondor is, like, on the brink of total devastation, and the Rohirrim are just... we're coming to help you.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. And last little bit about Galadriel. Eomer's like trepidation of the White Lady of the Golden Wood also makes a lot more sense, because obviously this has been like a rumor in Rohan since Errol, because he's like, he doesn't like believe that white mist that helped them get from much further north where they were all the way down to Gondor was the White Lady, and he's like, yeah, I don't trust that. Nope, I don't trust it. That's why, like, Gimli's like, how dare you? So and like when because remember in the books, Celeborn and Galadriel were at Minas Tirith for Aragorn's crowning. They saw it all happen, and I'm very sad that did not happen in the movie. Like, that's when Éomer, that's the first time Éomer, like, the Rohirrim have seen like that many of the Eldar, and they're like, oh, okay, we get it now.
Yes, they're like a dramatic entrance.
They do.
The oath in nature and binding power to the oath that men of the mountains took and forsook that led. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That is the oath. They are the men who forsook the oath. That's why they are called the oath breakers. is because they broke this oath that we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
But it is an oath that invoked Iluvatar. So
Iluvatar was not happy. And if you look at their armor, it's you can see if you were to stand that side by side with the Rohirrim, their armor is not that far off. Like the interweaving of how the breastplates looked, like you can tell that they're not dissimilar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that was that chapter. It was really good.
Yes.
It was really good. It was information heavy, but it was really, really good.
It gives so much more depth and light to the when we read or watch the Lord of the Rings, and just like that scene with the oath breakers. It's like, come and fulfill your oath. You like, and they did. So
yeah.
Oath. It's amazing. I loved it so much.
It was good. It was really good. So next week, Mando, you will be taking over. I will not be here. So guys, remember, I will not be here next week. We'll not have it on my channel. It's going to be on this way. This lady's channel again, and you'll be doing the quest of Erebor.
I will be. And we are going to have a guest. I believe that the guest has already been confirmed. I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans now just in case. And if he says, oopsie, I can't do it, then I will eternally haunt you in your grave. Anyway, Arkansas will be an honorary soul brother. We'll call him the soul brother.
There you
go. He will be the guest next week. We might have some special things going on with that because all of you that are going to the Dallas meetup, I am so jealous. There is so much jealousy, and I know it's bad to be jealous, but I am so jealous. You guys have so much fun at the Dallas meetup. Take lots of pictures and all of that good stuff, while the rest of us here on the interwebs shall be going through more of the unfinished tales. So yes, it will be once again on my channel next week. And we will be discussing all the things, and hopefully we will have a cool surprise for all of you that do tune in Saturday. I am hoping that everything works out for that. It's going to be super amazing and awesome, but I won't say any more until things have been confirmed. Yes, Arkansas. I just say Arkansas because there's a U in it, and yes.
I just call him Ark because I say his name different every single time I try to say it. So I just call him Ark.
Just say Arkansas and see what...
Screw his name up as much as mine screwed up.
I mean, I'm known as the unobtainable life sometimes, so yes.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I will be at the Dallas meetup, but I have to get back home the very next day. So I will see. Okay. Hey, Sealed Wall, if you so if you're at the meetup Thursday night, if you want to friend me on Discord and shoot me a message, I mean, you know what Salty Texas looks like, so I'll and Max as well. So it's a good chance I'll be with them. So if you want, again, come up and tell me your screen name. Don't say my name's John. So please come find me and say hello. Again, I'm not gonna. It's very unlikely I'll be seeking people out. So if you're there, please come say hi to me. I would definitely love to meet you guys.
That shouldn't be. If it's okay with you two, I may do some follow-up videos where I explore the military situation and do some of the timelines to decompress the material. Now I need to invent some time stopping to make time for them.
Go, dude, Dad, do it. Go for it. Your help is very appreciated. So yeah, no, dude, go. Well, that's true. You also do know. I just feel like be hiding. It's a good chance, like, I'll be hiding. So
I am excited. I will be most likely, hopefully, at the Orlando meetup. And then the year after that, I hope to go to the Vegas meetup. I'm gonna do Orlando this year, Vegas next year, and then maybe the year after that, I'll cut all of the meetups. Maybe by then I'll be monetized on YouTube and Twitch, and I'll be making oodles and oodles of money, and I can just go wherever the frick I want.
There you go. Yeah, I'm still very much. Orlando's a dream right now. I doubt I'll be going to Vegas because that's my own personal issues. I don't know if I want to be around that much alcohol. and be in Sin City at the same time. So I probably won't do Vegas. I hope I can go to Orlando. That would be fantastic if I did. So I will definitely keep you guys updated. I really want to, but again, it's going to be depend on gas prices. So we'll see what happens.
Or there might be a third option. I'm in, that might be in the works. I will tell you off screen what that might be. But yeah, I wish I could go to Dallas too. It's actually closer than all of the other meetups for me. It's like 6 hours away, but unfortunately, I have there's a local Comic-Con that I'm going to that I'll be filming, and a friend of mine's birthday is Saturday, but also that Thursday when the meetup has actually happened, I have to work that day, a full day's shift, because apparently everyone in my store wanted that same weekend off. I don't know why. Start subscribe star accounts. It's the alternative to Patreon that's not politically discriminate. I've thought about it. Oh, also I need to check on my Streamlabs if anyone's donated. I'm sorry if somebody's what's wrong keyboard. Jeez Louise, I need to there's that. He'll be in Boston. Oh, that's awesome, Lady Marine. Boston. Why can I not find the things? Give me just a moment, guys.
It's on you. Are you on Stream Labs?
Yeah, Streamlabs.
If you go all the way to the bottom, it's the tip history. So like there's that bar on the side with all the options. Go all the way to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Well, it for some reason logged me out.
Oh, that's
when I had it up. So yeah, I don't want to go there. Tip history.
I'm sorry you went to Dallas. Your sister canceled on you. I'm sorry. That stinks. I really can't afford this either, but I haven't been anywhere in like 3 years, so I need a break from my grandmother. I need to get out of the house for a little while.
Thank you. That shouldn't be. Also, for those of you like me and Elijah who are not quite monetized yet on YouTube, if you do see our Streamlabs link, there is an option for a reoccurring payment. If you like, this is just giving you options instead of doing Patreon or subscribe star. Geez Louise. There's an option for a reoccurring tip, or of course, the one-time tip as well. So just to let you guys know, that is a thing. I didn't realize it was a thing till earlier a few weeks ago, is that you can set it up for reoccurring payments like a membership. So that's the thing. I almost could have went to Dallas, but I couldn't get a good flight to fly. Yeah, flights are going to be expensive, but yeah. So yeah, guys, is there anything else that you have to say, Elijah, before I forget about anything and all of that?
I do have my chill stream tomorrow. It's going to be an hour early. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Central because Johnny 64 is joining us as well as Tugs. And if I didn't do it an hour early, they could only stay an hour because they got Mario Kart. So I moved it back an hour. We'll be doing a Lord of the Rings appreciation stream. And then after July, when Max MVP and myself switch streaming times, so my chill stream will be on Monday nights and his stream will be on Sunday nights because again, he's starting grad school. When we switch, I'm going to have a very set schedule of my chill stream and I'll be announcing that. The loosey goosey is fun, but it's also giving me like horrible anxiety because I never know what to talk about. And I don't like finding new guests all the time. So I'm going to have set panels. I want to have set themes. So after that, my like just thematically, well, not thematically, but like just the structure of my streams are going to change a wee bit just because I need structure. And I'm really looking forward to that because I've taken feedback from the community about what people like and are, yeah, well, that's not too terribly far off. We're definitely going to have some girly streams of all girl panels. So yeah, that after the meetup and after Max and I switch streaming days, I'm going to have a lot more set schedule.
We need to come up with merch.
Yeah.
Nah, Corey. Okay, so yeah, be watching out. So tomorrow, her channel doing the amazing chill stream, and also remember to give her all of your monies because it's her birthday stream and she deserves all of the monies and all of the love and all of the praise, and share that link out and do all of the things to shout her out. And also, speaking of shout out, go to Tugs' Twitch channel and support her charity stream today. She is amazing and awesome and all of that wonderful good stuff. As far as my stuff, you'll see me in the chats, and of course my Mario Kart streams on Mondays. So since it will be probably around the same time as your stream, I will probably be moving Mario Kart to a different time, so keep that in mind because I want to be able to see these streams too.
Well, don't feel like you have to. I mean, I feel bad about that, but it's just it's the only thing that makes sense.
Don't feel bad. No, like, it's fine. Fine. Don't you worry. Because I want to be there too. I want to be part of the girly streams. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. We appreciate you. You guys are amazing and awesome. Don't forget to go over to Tug Stream on Twitch and give her lots of love. And tomorrow, a Leja stream, and then my Monday Mario Kart Madness stream as well. So you guys have a great rest of your day, great weekend, and see you guys on the flip side.
All right, bye guys.